Hello, and thank you for joining me today with Paper Crafting with Tracy. Today we're going to be doing an expanding card. So I've got a couple different examples here to show you. Okay, this first one here, okay, when you open it up, okay, this is what it looks like. Okay, it looks actually quite complicated to make, but it's actually quite simple. And then it just folds back up. And then I'll show you the second one here. I'll put that back together in a moment. Okay, and this one is used using the Forever Greenery suite. So you slide the belly band off, and there's the expanding card. Okay, so it's a great way to show off some designer series paper as well, and then it just folds all back up, like so. So, as I said, this one was done using the Forever Greenery or Forever Fern stamp set and the Forever Greenery designer series paper. And this one here, I used the Under My Umbrella stamp set. So we'll just move those aside. So the first thing you're going to need is 3 pieces of cardstock that are 6 inches by 6 inches. Okay, so I've got some black for this one because I'm going to use a totally different design for this one. And you're going to score it. I've drawn it on a piece of paper to demonstrate. You're going to score it in the middle, so at the 3-inch, going vertically, 3-inch going horizontally, and then diagonally both ways. So I've already done that to 2 pieces, and I'll just do it for the third one here. So I'll get my scoring tool here and just line it up to 3 inches. And just make sure when you're doing this that you're not using your cutting blade, that you're using your scoring blade. You can also use this with your scoring tool. Okay, so there's those 2, and then just line the points up, point to point, in the track, like so. And then this final one, again, point to point. Okay, so we don't need our paper cutter anymore. Now you're just going to take your bone folder, and we're just going to fold all in all directions. So, and then the final one. Okay, now you're going to start off. You want to hold it on a diagonal. And we're going to, this square down here, we want to keep that as a square. And what you're going to do is you're going to take these 2 outside points here, and you're going to fold it down to that point. And you're going to do it again with this one. Just fold it down, and then fold the top flat. So what you should end up is with a nice, perfect square. Okay, and when you open it up, that's how it sits in. Okay, so I've already done that with the other 2. Okay, and that just gives it so that the paper's got some memory to it. Okay, so if I keep it flat, okay, fold it in, point in, and then down. Okay, and just run your bone folder over top, just again, as I said, so it's got some memory to it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to assemble this. So what makes it easier when you put these together is you want those ones that come in to be at the top and bottom. You want your flat squares to be going across horizontally. So we're going to do it like so. And then what you're going to do, because this one actually we want it to go the other way, is just flip it around. Okay, so it actually goes the opposite direction. And now we're going to just tape them together. So I've got my Stampin' Seal Plus here, and I'm just going to put some on this square. I'll move that to the side for a moment. Oops. Make sure it's actually all in the square, not over. This is easy to move over. There we go. Make sure it's all over there. I went slightly across, but there we go. It's all across. And now again, that was the flat one. These were the ones that came in, so those are up and down. And then instead of doing it the same way where it came in this way, I want it to actually fold away. And you're just going to line up those squares. Like so. And now I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Okay, and again, this one, I want it the same as that one. So I will line it all up. There we go. And that's your card base. So that when these come in, this one folds out. Okay, like so. And it will have some memory. Those come in. And then these ones come in as well. So you should end up with a nice square there. And once you get it all in there, it will remember. So you can see I can pull it apart, oops, and put it back together. So now we're just going to decorate it. So what I've done is I've taken some 2.5, I believe they're 2.5 inch squares, yes, and I have 4 white ones, and that's what I'm going to decorate my middle squares here with. And I'll stamp some of those, so I'm going to leave the last one blank because that's for my sentiment. So I'll just tape that one down now. I'll stamp the other ones in a little bit. Might as well put that one in now. And you could put a border around these, some matting. Okay, I didn't with this one. And then what I did as well, because we're going to decorate all of these, is you're just going to take some 2.5 inch square DSP and cut it on the diagonal. Okay, so for example, here was a 2.5 inch square and I just cut it on the diagonal. And then that's what you're going to decorate the rest of this with. Okay, so I've got I like to lay it all out to make sure I like where it's going first before I start gluing them down. Oops. Stick that one so my dragonfly is up the right way. And I think that one. Okay. So now I'm just going to glue them down, and I found it easier to do this with glue. Just so I could get into the corners properly. So I just got some multi-purpose glue here. So I'll just put some of those on and just put them in place. So it's a really simple card. As you can see, I've done a couple different designs with it, but you want to choose a designer series paper that's got smaller print. This dragonfly one, it's got some smaller dragonflies, which is why it worked. If you've got too large of a print, it's not really going to showcase it very well. And you could do all these squares the same, or these triangles. Okay, I chose to alternate, just again to show off a lot of this designer series paper. Okay, and of course our designer series paper is double-sided, so when you cut your triangle, you've got two different patterns to choose from. And I don't put a huge amount of glue on there. It doesn't need a huge amount. This glue is very tacky. So this paper that I'm using is the Dainty Garden paper. That's in the January to June mini catalog. It's available right now. And I'll show you some more of the paper that's in it. Because I'm going to use actually another one to decorate the front. We'll drop there. We'll just take that off. The other thing you can do with this card, you can make it a little bit bigger if you choose. Just make sure it's a square. Is you could put photos in each of these spots here, and give it to somebody like a grandparent or something to showcase some family photos. And so I've got one more to do here, and then I will do the stamping of my white pieces. There we go. Okay, so those are all done. I will move these off for a moment while this, just stick it up there. So as promised, here's, well, I've got all my bits and pieces here, but here's some of that designer series paper. There's some of the different patterns, and then of course on the back as well. So lots of possibilities there. Okay, so I'm just going to get a piece of paper here because I tend to off stamp some, and I'm going to put a sentiment in one of them. I'll just flip that over and put some stamps in the others. So I'm going to use this Dragonfly Gardens stamp set. So we will start with some dragonflies here. Okay, is what I'm using, and I think I will use the Blackberry Bliss, or not black, Rich Razzleberry. Okay, and the one thing that's nice with this designer series paper is it actually tells you what it coordinates in here. So it tells you that it's Calypso Coral and Bumblebee and Mossy Meadow, Misty Moonlight. Okay. And actually it is Blackberry Bliss, not the Rich Razzleberry. So I'm going to get that out. I'm going to get the Calypso Coral. And I think I will do the Mossy Meadow as well for my sentiment. So let's Blackberry Bliss, I think, for these dragonflies. And I'm going to actually stamp them a couple times. There we go. I just want some faint dragonflies there. Okay, so I'll put that aside. And then I think I will get just a full dragonfly for one of these, and I'll do that in the, I think the Mossy Meadow just for the outline, and then I think I will color it in. Okay, so remember which way your your sentiment is going. So there we go. And then I think for my sentiment from that stamp set, I think I'll just do thank you for your kindness. So I'll just get that one here. And I'll do that in Calypso Coral. I'm just letting this one dry, that dragonfly, before I color it in. Perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna put a couple of them here in there. So we'll stick that here in the center. And now before I put this one in, actually I might just leave it as is. I was going to take some stamping blends and put that in there, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm just going to leave it in the Mossy Meadow. I just didn't want it to be too solid and bright in there. Okay, so those are all done. So now we're just going to decorate the bottom. So again, it will all fold up. Like so. Once you get the front and the back on, it'll work. So that's what you end up with. And then I'll just put that aside. I've gotten a couple of the Blackberry Bliss cardstock. And these are 3.5-inch squares. And then I took another piece of one of the Designer Series paper, and I'm going to use the dragonflies again, and that is a 3-inch square. So the back piece isn't going to have Designer Series paper on, but the front piece is. So we will just put that on there. And again, I was carrying on with the dragonfly theme. And then how I found it easiest to put on there is to put your tape on here. Sorry. And then I found it easier. Now again, figure out which way it's opening. So that way. So I want it facing up that way. And then just center it on the there. And then if you put tape on this side, then take your other piece of cardstock and just center it again. Like so. So that now when you open it up, there's your card. Now, the other thing that I found handy is because it otherwise doesn't want to stay, it just bounces. I made a belly band. So this belly band is 8.5, okay, and half, actually 3/4 inch. So all I'm going to do, okay, is we're just going to line this up like so, and you're going to fold it over, okay, but just make sure you don't do it too tight, otherwise it won't hold. Just like so. And then you can take whatever you want to decorate the front. I don't actually have something to put on there yet, so I'm actually going to do a dragonfly, I think. Okay, I like the dragonfly, so I'll just get a piece of white cardstock here. That's about perfect. And I think I'll go back to the mossy meadow. And now I'll just get the punch. This is the punch that goes with the set. And I will just punch out that dragonfly. There we go. Move my ink away, and now I find it easier just to put some tape there where I want it, and I'm going to put my dragonfly. Oops, reposition that. And there we have it. The folding, or the expandable card. Just like so. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial with paper crafting with Tracey, and I would appreciate if you would subscribe to my channel and check out the website or the Facebook page for more available tutorials. Happy stamping!